Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankaracharya-madhyamām Asmadacharya-paryantām Vande Guru-paramparām Paramparasya prakriteranādim Ekam nivishtam bahudha guhasu Sarvalayam sarvacharacharastham Tvameva Vishnum Sharanam Prapadye Karmapala Bijanasha Janma Vinasho Na Chatra Sandehaha Buddhva Evam Apagata Tamaha Saviteva Bhati Dharupaha Yadvad Ishikatulam Pavanodhutam Hidasha Disho Yati Brahmani Tattva Jnanat Tathaiva Karmani Tattva Vidaha. So we were looking at the Jnana Phalam, correct? Because the three questions were asked by the Sishya, we can consider, okay, if you go back. One was, who is this Jiva? Kaha Jivaha, who is actually bound like a whatever, like a caterpillar or inside a pupa, correct? And who is this Jiva who is going from one life to another and all that? That is the Tvampada you can take. Okay, if you take our Mahavakya, which is the essence of all Vedanta, the Tvampada question is, who is this Jiva or individual conscious being? Then the Tatpada is about the Prakriti Purusha. So Prakriti is the Jagat Karanam in one way. Is it Jagat Karanam by itself, which is the Sankhya view? Or there is a Purusha Mayavi, correct? Maya and Mayavi. Ishvara is the Jagat Karanam, and that Ishvara is not separate from Param Brahma. Okay, Brahman alone with Maya. With is again, you have to put it within quotes. There is no real with. The Maya Shabalam Brahma we say in Sanskritam also, but that is all only two orders of reality, really speaking. So it doesn't have really any Advaita Hani. We have to understand that Advaita is not affected by saying Brahman with Maya is actually not a very good English to use. Or Brahman plus Maya and all you can say. That plus doesn't have any real force there. Understand that. Or we have to say Brahman from the standpoint of Maya is a better way of putting it, I think. It's only a standpoint. From the standpoint of the Srishti, you have to have a Srishti Karta, correct? The creator. And then how does Brahman become creator? If that question comes, then we have to say Maya, ya. It's all only Maya. So that's how we understand. Okay, from the standpoint of the world, because the world is experienced, we have to account for it. Correct? As an individual subject, you are experiencing the objective world. Those two nobody can deny. Okay. But whether there is a Ishvara or not is a question which, that is the Tatpada. That also the question is asked by the Sishya. That is also answered, correct? And then the Aikya. So the Jnanam is that I am not in any way connected to any of these things which I am really taking myself as, correct? The whole problem is coming because of Atma, Anatma, Aviveka. There is a wrong identification with the things which you are seeing, which you are knowing. But in reality, whatever I know cannot be I. That is the only thing you have to always do this sadhana. The Vedanta sadhana is what? Whatever I know is not I. So, once you know that, then hold on to that. Because you are the conscious entity. And in fact, that consciousness, awareness can never be separated from any object. Whatever object you know, however big it is all only in awareness, correct? Awareness is the basis for each and every cognition, and you are that awareness. The cognized objects really don't count. They come and go. They are not even real. They are all only appearances in this awareness, which is the unchanging, invariable in each and every cognition. And there can never be the awareness of not awareness, because that also has to happen only in awareness, correct? That also has, there cannot be a cognition of there being no consciousness, correct? That also requires a consciousness. That's why our word language itself is beautiful, correct? Because in our Indian languages, zero is called puja. How can zero be puja? Puja really means worship worthy, correct? That which is worthy of your worship is puja. But zero is puja for us. Why? Because zero is nothing but removal of all namarupa, correct? Or even ash is called vibhuti. Ash is glory. Why? Because there also, if you remove, you put everything into fire, all the namarupa is gone. Only one thing remains. The satyam is only vibhuti, which is nothing but ash. So when the namarupa is gone, whatever is left behind is vibhuti. It is puja for us, because that can never go away. That is the invariable, unchanging, indestructible, avinashi also. That awareness you are, because you are that. And in fact, you don't require any pramana to establish that, because you are self-existing, self-revealing entity. Because you have to be there for any pramana vyapara to take place. So you are not even somebody who has to be known through any pramana. So even Shruti pramana is only removing wrong notions about yourselves. So Shruti pramana is not establishing your existence. Understand that. You are self-existing, self-revealing reality. That is your reality. Your reality is not that you are stuck in a particular body, mind, sense complex, and you are not a limited being. You are not somebody who is existing in space-time. Space-time is in you. You are not somebody who is subjected to any karma, really speaking. You are beyond all kinds of karma, how much ever it may be. It doesn't matter. Everything is evaporated. See, that the analogy typically given for samsara is what? Samsara is a sagara. It is an ocean. The phenomenal life, the whatever life one is living as an individual in space-time is samsara, as a limited individual, and you are swimming in an ocean. The analogy is. So when will the ocean, I will cross this ocean and all that. You can keep swimming. You may be coming round and round. Earth being a globe, you can keep swimming and not even see any land anywhere. You can keep going round and round. It can be endless. But what if that there is no real water, in fact? The water evaporates. That is the Guru. Once the Guru is teaching you, Bhavasagar Sukhugai, like that, even Mirabai is singing in the bhajan, correct? You are not going to swim across the Bhavasagara. Understand that. The the idea is that there is no Sagara at all to start with. That is the knowledge we are talking about. So with that knowledge, what this karma phala bija and all is destroyed, because there is no, you are not even a karta. How can there be any karma phala for you, any karma for you? And so once you have this knowledge, there is no doubt that you are no more somebody who is born, because the birth and all is only for the body. There is no birth or death or anything. There is no birth for awareness, correct? Awareness cannot see its own birth. Consciousness cannot see its own death also, because for that also you require consciousness. So understand this. So you are, and only time itself also is same thing. So if you know you are a karta, there is no question of any karma phala nasha. In fact, it was not even there to start. You are not even a karta. You are not connected to any karma. That is the vision we are talking about. So everything is destroyed with this knowledge that I am not even a karta. So there should not be any doubt about this. And this knowledge is that I am not subjected to time itself. I am aware of time. Time is in me. And I am not in time really. I exist even when there is no cognition of time, correct? Because when you are the invariable unchanging, time also cannot be there. Time also is only a superimposition on yourself. It is an adhyasa. It is an appearance, because time means change, but you are the unchanging invariable reality. So you you are not in time really. Understand that. You are the one who is cognizing time. I know time means I am not time also. In fact, time is an appearance in me. That is the important thing you have to understand. You are not a puny entity in space time, whatever, in a particular body. That is the problem. Once you take yourself as an individual only, all this karma, etc., is applicable, because karma itself has created this body. We can say that. But you are not really the body, you are not the senses, you are not the mind. None of this is your reality. So, having known this, buddhva evam means all your ignorance about yourself is gone. Apagata tamaha. Then you are that consciousness which is always shining. This consciousness is the one which is always shining. Savita iva abhati bharupaha. And it is of the nature of shining. It is self-existing, self-revealing reality to which everything becomes evident. You are the one to whom everything becomes evident, and whatever is becoming evident is all changing. They are not even of the same order of reality as yourself. So this is what we saw already. Now, the next verse, okay, if this knowledge is there, will it take time for all this karma to be destroyed and all that? There can be a doubt. Because generally in Vaidika karma, the result of the Vaidika karma doesn't come immediately. Okay, it comes after you die only, correct? You do, to go to Swarga, you do a lot of karma now. But that karma phala immediately you won't get. You don't directly vanish from earth and get up in Swarga or anything. You have to wait till this Janma is over. In fact, many people, Dvaitins, Vishishta Dvaitins and all also talk about similarly, correct? For them, there is no moksha, Jeevanmukta or anything. While living here, there is no moksha. You have to die and go to Vaikunta, Golok, Brindavan, wherever it is. Okay. They are all talking about only a loka gamanam. Okay, going to some loka. It's all only tourism promotion, like my Guruji used to say. They are promoting tourism to some place. They give you a nice idea about that place. Whether you will really like it there or not, we don't know. Okay. Our people will say there is no cricket in Golok Brindavan, so I don't like it. It can be like that, we don't know. So anyway, the idea here is this moksha is here and now. There is no temporal gap or space gap. Correct? Space wise and time wise, there is no gap. Moksha is available here and now because it is about knowing yourself as the limitless. Correct? If you are the limitless and you have to just recognize that, and once you have recognized it, that's it. There is no more any gap or anything. Knowledge is the moksha for us. Correct? That's what we call sadhyo mukti. Means the moksha is immediate. And that's why, in fact, in the Brihadaranyaka Bhashya, Bhashyakara says even devas cannot do anything to you. Because there is no gap, correct? At least in the case of Vaidika karma, since there is a gap between the karma and the karma phala, somebody can go and do something, or maybe they will not. You have to take another janma before that actual karma phala you get. We don't know. All that is there. But Bhashyakara says here even devas cannot do anything to you, because this knowledge, once it takes place, of course, till the time you gain the knowledge, you require all the grace of Ishvara and even devatas that we accept. Correct? But this knowledge is gained means you become the very Atma of even the Devatas. You are the self of even the Devatas. So what can they do? They cannot do anything. That is the beauty of this knowledge. So here again our Acharya Adi Sesha is giving a beautiful analogy. He is saying, Yadvad Ishikatulam Pavanodbhutam hi Dasha Disho Yati. So like even Ishika means it is like a wild grass. Okay, or it's even called wild sugar cane and all that. So in our place also you will see all these reeds and different types of big grasses grow, correct? 2, 3 feet or even 6 feet and all they grow if you leave them. And they all have this, all their, you can say some kind of their flowers and seeds, correct? Nice fluffy cotton kind of Ishika. Tula means really like that cotton only. Okay. Fluffy thing. That's where all their seeds are all there, correct? And when the wind blows, what happens? They are all dispersed, scattered all over, all over, in all 10 directions. Because up and down also you have to add, correct? Generally we say Ashtadik. 8 directions are there. Then up and down also if you add, then it becomes 10. In all 10 directions, all these seeds and whatever is there in that fluffy flower is dispersed. Like that, this Tattva Jnana is there, means all the karma, they are all gone. They are all scattered, means they don't really matter anymore. They are not there. Okay. So Brahmani Tattva Jnana Tathaiva Karmani Tattva Vidaha. So for the Tattva Vid, the one who knows this reality, because of the Jnana itself, Tattva Jnanat, okay, all this karma, they are all scattered. Only Brahman is there. Okay. So that is the understanding here, that there is no time gap or anything. There is no gap between jnanam and the jnana phala. Jnanam itself is the phalam. Jnana devatu kaivalyam. Like this also it is said. The moksha is nothing but knowledge alone. Because it is already accomplished. Accomplishing the accomplished. That's what we call. So whatever is accomplished, how did it become unaccomplished? Means that's why we talk about ignorance. Avidya has covered the Tattva Jnanam. Already the Viveka Jnanam is there in the Guru and in the Ishvara, and in, but it is not there for the Ajnanis, it is covered. The covering has to be removed. So all Jnanam, in fact, there is no new knowledge created. Understand that. All knowledge is already there with Ishvara. But for the Ajnanis, knowledge is covered. So every knowledge you gain is nothing but removal of this cover. The removal of ignorance alone is called as knowledge, because all knowledge is already there. That's how it is looked at. So Ajnanena Avritam Jnanam, even in the Gita, Bhagavan says in the 5th chapter. So all you have to do is remove this Ajnanam, and the reality is there as it is, and there is no gap or anything between this Jnanam and Moksha. Okay, another doubt can come. In fact, is a more serious questions can still be there. Okay, what is this? Because the moksha or the freedom which we talk about, is it nitya or not? Okay, so we want nitya phalam. In fact, one of the things which we talk about is what? That all the things which you can achieve by pursuing karma in this world are all anitya. They are all limited in one way or the other. In fact, they are limited by space time itself. Whatever you can gain, it is all limited by space time and objects also. So they are all limited, means anitya. But what about this moksha which you want? Moksha is nitya. But does moksha start or not? That is the question, correct? This is the Dvaitins will come and ask this question. Does the moksha start? If it starts, it will also end. Okay. This is the inference, because anything which starts in time has to end in time. Okay. And anything which is never starting will not end. Okay. So they say that all this karma which we talk about, we say is anadi, correct? Or ajnanam is anadi, we say. If it is anadi, how can it have end? So in one way, ignorance is the problem. If we say ignorance doesn't have any beginning, we say it is beginningless, it is anadi. So anadi ignorance cannot end in time, because it did not start in time. In fact, we say time itself is there because of ignorance only. But we also have to say moksha starts in time, but it never ends. This is also a problem. We cannot establish this logically. Okay. Of course, we can do some vitanda. Some vitanda was, I mean, what we'll say that, okay, if a Nayayika comes and raises this objection, one of the provisional answers we give is that what? Even you say that pragabhava is anadi, but it ends, correct? The prior non-existence, it is called pragabhava. Before the pot was born, there is pot pragabhava, ghata pragabhava, they say. And when the pot is born, the ghata pragabhava ends. But the ghata pragabhava, the prior non-existence of pot, never began. It is always there. Similarly, pradvamsa bhava they talk about. Okay. Post destruction, whatever non-existence is there, that is also, it starts, but it will never end, according to the Nayayika. So why can't it be like this? Ignorance is like the pragabhava, and once knowledge is there, moksha is like pradvamsa bhava. Like this, we can make a argument. It's okay. It is like, but still, it is not a very satisfactory argument. Okay, it is only to just shut their mouth. But more importantly, what we have to understand is, this is where the Satyam Mithya is very important to understand. That's why even the bondage is not real for us. Understand? This is all true if the bondage is real. The bondage itself is not real. Because what you are accomplishing is already accomplished. Bondage is pure ignorance, which itself is not real. Knowledge also is only making you as though free. You are as though bound and you become as though free. That is the reality, in fact. Okay. That means they will have another problem. They'll say then this knowledge itself you are gaining then from what? Means that pramana also is mithya only for us. Okay. Even the Smriti itself says that in the Brihadaranyaka it says Vedaha Avedo Bhavati. Correct? The Veda is Aveda. In moksha, even in deep sleep it is like that, correct? There is no means of knowledge, there is no Veda or anything in deep sleep. Or it is like the means of knowledge you had in dream. Once you wake up, they are all not valid, correct? The entire dream itself is invalid along with the means of knowledge and all that. But the point which is made is, how can a mithya pramana reveal the satyam? Like this, there is another objection which is raised by people. Okay. Means this also is answered even in the Brahma Sutra. Bhashyakara says, or we give one analogy is what? A dream tiger is good enough to wake you up, correct? It need not be a real tiger. The tiger which chased you in your dream, okay, and made you wake up out of your nightmare, is not real tiger. It need not be a real tiger. A dream tiger is good enough to wake you from the dream. Like that, Shruti is like that dream tiger, which is making you wake up to your own reality. In the wake of this knowledge, Shruti also is no more Shruti. because you are not even a knower anymore. So what is the use of any means of knowledge for you? The very status of being a knower also you have to drop. That is not your Swarupa. You are only this conscious entity who is always shining. Knowership also comes only when there is mind, when there is ahankara, when there is ego. Okay, the antakarana has to be active for you to be a knower. Otherwise, you are just a conscious entity. Okay, that is your reality. So, there is no rule that the pramana has to be real to reveal a real vastu. Even another example Bhashyakara says is even Shruti says that if you see certain things in dream, then in your waking it has a bearing, correct? It says that you will have a lot of wealth. Okay, if you see there is a in Chandogya Upanishad, it comes like that. So Bhashyakara even quotes that to say that whatever unreal things you see in dream can have a bearing on the waking. It can point to certain things in waking. Similarly, even though Shruti itself is not ultimately real, it can reveal to you your own reality, which transcends the Vyavahara. So, like this, all these things, why I am saying is, once you have this knowledge, you cannot go back and become a samsari again. Understand that, because that is the doubt which people may have again. Even if I have this jnanam, what if I become amnesia comes means what will happen means the amnesia is only for the mind. This jnanam is that you are not even the mind. It is not even dependent on memory. Understand that. You transcend your own mind, your own memory, everything. That is the beauty of this knowledge. You can never go back and be a bound person again. There is no bondage because you have transcended all that. That is the beauty of this knowledge. So, what is the analogy he is giving? He is giving, okay, this verse we haven't read, I think. Okay. So, here he is going to give the analogy of a milk and butter. Okay. क्षीरात् उद्धृतमाज्यं क्षिप्तं यद्वन्न पूर्ववत् तस्मिन् प्रकृतिगुणेभ्यस्तद्वत् पृथक् कृतश्चेतनो नात्मा. Okay, क्षीरात् उद्धृतं आज्यम. So ajyam is, you can take it as ghee or you can take it as butter here. So whatever butter you have separated out of milk, okay, even though it may be floating in that whatever the water, the leftover water, correct, it can never, even if you stir it and all that, it is not going to go back and become milk, correct? It is separate now. Like that, once a Jeevanmukta, you may still be in the world and all that for some time till the body falls. That doesn't mean you ever take yourself as a karta bhokta anymore. Jivan mukta is jivan api muktaha. Even while living, I am not doing anything. I am not enjoying anything really because I am not a karta bhokta. This is the same thing for Ishvara also. That's why Bhagavan says tasya kartaram api mam vidya akartaram avyayam. Correct? Karmanya abhipravrittopi naiva kinchit karoti saha. Even if you may be as a Jivan Mukta, you can be engaged in any amount of activity, but you are still not doing anything. That is your reality. You are not a karta. Navadware pure dehi naiva kurvan nakarayan. All these Gita verses. The Gita is entirely about teaching that you are akarta abhokta. Karmanya akarmaya pashyed akarmani cha karmayaha. Sabuddhiman manushyeshu. Sayukta kritsna karma krite. All these teach that you are not a karta bhokta, you are not a karta, nor you are causal also. You don't cause anybody to do anything also. That is your reality. So naiva kurvan na karayan. You don't make anybody else do anything also. You are just present as a conscious entity and everything is appearing in you. That is the reality. Once this reality is known, you are never going to fall back into this. So once the butter comes up, it is separated, then it's not going to become milk again. So kshiptam yadvan na purvavat tasmin. It doesn't go and become milk again, correct? It doesn't go back into that water. It may float in that water. Even after you have separated out the butter, it will not again become milk. Like that, prakriti gunebhyaha tadvat pritak kritaha chetanaha na atma. So once you know yourself as the conscious entity, limitless conscious being who has got no connection to prakriti, which is nothing but the three gunas, correct? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. Like that Bhagavan says in the Gita also. Only the gunas are acting amongst themselves. I have nothing to do with all that. Okay. So you are separate. Tadvat pritak kritaha. So you have done the Atma Anatma Viveka and Satyam Mithya also. The Viveka is clear. All these gunas are all Mithya. They come and go. They have nothing to do with you, anything. You are the invariable conscious being in whom all these things are appearing actually. In fact, both the subject object are nothing but prakriti guna only. They are all made up of all these gunas because your own body mind sense complex also is the three gunas only. The outside world also are three gunas only. So basically the subject object activity itself is the play of the gunas. You are just the supporting awareness. You are the ground on which all these things are happening, correct? You are the locus in which both subject and object are there. In fact, they are interdependent. That itself points to the truth that there has to be an independent entity which supports that interdependence. Because any interdependence, if you analyze, it cannot come by itself, correct? Mutual dependency is a problem. But for mutual dependency to take place, there that has to have started because of another independent entity. That is yourself, the conscious entity. And you know, once you have known yourself as separate from all these things, then you can never go back and become a bound person again. So don't have this doubt also. What if it is not memory based on all that this knowledge anymore? Because you transcend your mind, your intellect, your memory, everything. That is the truth of this knowledge. Even though it takes place in mind only, that also we have to say. But this jnanam destroys this mula jnanam, we say that I am the very, I am this body, mind, sense complex, etc. Or I am part of this space time. All these things is gone. You transcend that. So how can, there's one more question also can be asked in all these things. Because the mind itself is a ajnana karya, we say. Okay, ajnana or maya is the mula karana. And then from that only the subject object duality, mind, the identification with the mind or intellect, and then down onwards, then other things which are associated with the mind also. Mind is there in a particular body, therefore you have identity with the body also and all the senses, etc. So there is a evolution or devolution, we can say, whichever way you want. The identity is evolving like that. So the knowledge takes place in the mind only, correct? Atma Jnanam is also a manovritti, we say, we call it akhandakara vritti. Because all other normal knowledge, there is a khanda, there is a division between subject object. But the akhandakara vritti, what we are saying, you transcend the subject object duality itself. It shows the oneness of everything. This akhandakara vritti means you have understood the oneness of everything. There is no khanda, all division is only an appearance, it doesn't really count. That is the Akhandakara Vritti. It shows the oneness which is yourself. Only you are there really. That also takes place in mind, but it destroys the very Karana of the mind itself, which is Ajnanam, we say. So how is this possible? Means, even for this we give an analogy. Of course, we have to go with the Shruti here. Shruti is talking about this Jnanam making you transcend the entire, whatever the subject-object duality. But even otherwise also, what one example we give is what of the Arani Mathana. See, the fire is produced by rubbing to wood. So in one way you say fire is the karya of the wooden pieces which you grind together, correct? This Arani Mathanam we see, if you go to some traditional yajna, they don't use this matchsticks and all that. they will they'll have one base, wooden base, another wooden cylinder kind of a thing, which they will rotate, and in that friction, fire will come. But that fire itself can consume that wood, correct? So it's not impossible that this Akhandakara Vritti, even though it is taking place in the mind, it consumes the Ajnanam, which made you take yourself as that body, mind, sense complex. Okay, that is the beauty. So, once this Jnanam takes place, there is no way you are going back again and becoming a samsari. This also is made clear with this analogy of Shira and Ajya. Okay, then what is the nature of yourself then finally again? What is your true nature? That also is said in the next verse. Gunamayam Gunamayamaya Gahanam Nirdhuya Yatha Tamas Sahasramshuhu Bahyabhyantarachari Saindhava Ghanavat Bhavet Purushaha. So Gunamaya Maya Gahanam. So Gahanam means again a dark place, all that. Okay. This Ajnana only is called as Gunamaya Maya Gahanam. So that which is Gunamaya, made up of three gunas, which is also Maya, which is just an appearance like magic. But it is that ignorance, Nirdhuya. So destroying it, getting rid of it, all this. Like even the darkness is removed by Sahasramshuhu, the sun. Sahasramshuhu means what? One who has countless rays. Sahasramshuhu, which is Surya, Aditya. So tamas is removed, destroyed by the sun. Like that, you also get rid of your ignorance, which is made up of all these gunas, which is just Maya. And then what? Bahyabhyantarachari Saindhava Ganavat Bhavet Purushaha. So then what? There is no limitation with reference to inside, outside, and all that. Understand that. There is no difference. There is no khanda. There is no difference of past, present, future, inside, outside, different objects. None of these things are there. There is no difference at all. Everything is one only, one alone. Correct? Ekameva Advitiyam. One and only alone. Bahyabhyantarachari Saindava Ghanavati. This Saindava Ghana means it is a salt, lump of salt. Example is given in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad actually. Okay, there is a Maitreyi Brahmanam in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. This is a very interesting conversation between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, his wife. Okay, so there Yajnavalkya is teaching his wife before he goes and takes sannyasa, because he wanted to take sannyasa. He had two wives, Maitreyi and Katyayani, and he had lot of wealth. So he goes and tells Maitreyi that, Arey, my dear wife, I want to know take parivraja, I want to become a parivrajaka, I want to just go as a wandering sannyasi. So I want to leave all these things, whatever wealth is there, but I'll divide it amongst you and Katyayani before I leave. Then Maitreyi asks, is there... So she knows that he is going because he is seeking amritatva, immortality or moksha. So she asks, will I get amritatvam with all the wealth you are giving me? Okay. Then he says, there is no vittena naiva asha. He says, there is no hope of getting any amritatvam with all this wealth. With all this wealth, you will get a lot of comfort. There is no doubt. Like anybody else who is wealthy, but being comfortable means you will still be a limited being also. A comfortable limited being you can be. Even that cannot even guarantee happiness, in fact. You can be comfortably unhappy, in fact. Most people, once they get lot of comfort in life, become, in fact, comfortably unhappy. At least the one who is uncomfortable is thinking that he will become comfortable someday and he is working for that. And in fact, in that thought, he is happy actually. But once you have become comfortable, it is no more great. You found out comfort is not nothing great really. Comfortably, you can be unhappy. Anyway, so that's what he says. There is no hope. Then she says, then you teach me this Amritattvam. Whatever is the means for this Amritattvam, then that alone I want. You are going for this Amritattvam means why are you leaving me with all this wealth if it will not give me Amritattvam? So that is why she is Brahmavadini. She asks for this Brahma Jnanam and Yajnavalkya is very pleased. He says that you are my dear wife. Why will I not teach you? So he is teaching her. And in that one of the things what he is saying, he says Sayatha Saindava Ghanaha Anantaraha Abhakyaha Kritsnaha Rasaghanaha Eva Evam Vare Ayam Atma Anantaraha Abhakyaha Kritsnaha Prajnana Ghanaha. This is the statement he makes. Like even the Saindava Ghana, the salt is salty everywhere, correct? Everywhere it is salty, whether outside, inside. This is one salt alone. It is homogeneously salty, or even if you mix it in water, that solution is salty everywhere, correct? Rasaghana only. It has the same taste everywhere. It is homogeneously salty. Similarly, this Atma also is only Prajnana Ghana. It is homogeneous conscious entity. Means within itself also there is no difference or anything. Understand that. This Prajnana Ghana, when we say, it is homogeneous. It is the same thing. It's only one entity. It is one whole. There is no division within that or difference or any kind of changing nature or anything. That is what is this Prajnana Ghana. We have to understand. And it is the same everywhere. And in fact, there is no Bahya, Antara, etc. and all that. That is the beauty. That is the reality of this. Okay. So Bahya Abhyantara Chari also when we say it is going inside, outside, everywhere means it is free of space itself. Understand that? That's why this Atma Swarupa is said as Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiya. How can it be contradictory like that, you can ask? It is smaller than the smallest, correct? Anoraniyan means it is more, it is even smaller than an atom. Mahato Mahiyan, it is greater than the greatest. How can it be like that? Is it not contradictory? That means the idea is that these contradictory things are said so that you can understand that it is not measurable. In fact, it doesn't fall under any measure. Whether it is small measure, big measure, it doesn't matter. It is parimana itself cannot be there for this Brahman, which is yourself. There is no parimana. There is no measure. Whether it is space wise, time wise, it is beyond all measures. That is the truth. It is the same also that way. It is a prajnana ghana. That's why it is one homogeneous whole, which is a partless whole, and which is not, which cannot be subjected to any kind of measure, in fact. That's why it is Anoraniyan, Mahato Mahiyan. It goes outside, it goes inside, everywhere it is the same. And wherever you can run, it is already there and all. Even in the Ishavasya Upanishad, it is said very beautifully. Wherever your mind can go, already awareness has to be there. Correct? You can never go beyond this awareness. The entire space-time is only in this awareness. There can be nothing which is beyond this awareness. That is your reality. That is you. And you are like one homogeneous, partless whole. Purnatvam is your very nature. Correct? So once all these things are said, one more question is there. What is that? Okay, you are saying Prakriti, Purusha, Gunamaya, Maya, Gahanam and all that, correct? Will it not then be Advaita Hani, will it not be there? Okay. You are talking about two things, Prakriti and Purusha. You are talking about two avasthas, Vyavahara, Paramaartha. So everywhere Dvaita is there. Means Dvaita is there only from the Ajnana avastha. Advaitam is Satyam. Dvaita is only an appearance. It doesn't really count. That way there is no Advaita Hani. That same things again is coming back and telling you that what Yadvaddeho avayava mrideva tasya vikara jatani tadvat sthavara jangamam advaitam dvaitavat bhati. So advaitam dvaitavat bhati. Yatra dvaitam iva pashyati. Ya iha nana iva pashyati. All these things are there in the Upanishad also. The Dvaitam Nanatvam is all only Iva as though Dvaitavat Bhati, it is appearing. There is only one rope, but it appears like a snake, means snake has many limbs and all that, it is crawling, looks like it is crawling and all that. But rope is not doing any activity. It is the same, its nature is of one same nature of the yarn, whatever yarn which made the rope. It doesn't have any limbs, etc. All those nanatvam you see in the snake is all only appearance. It doesn't really count once you know the rope. Like that, so all the avayavas which you are seeing is all only one reality really. Yadvat dehaha avayava. See, even if you take deha as a reality, all the parts are nothing but the body only. This is one level of understanding you can say. But even better is what? Wow, the entire clay world is nothing but clay. You may say that it is part, plate, spoon, whatever. You can do so many things with clay. But what really exists is clay alone. The other things are only names and forms. They may also have function. The name, form, and function is there. But it is all only the reality is that clay alone gives its very existence to all these things. These things are only appearances. So, like that, this entire world, which is made up of stationary things, correct? Sthavara, Jangama means that which moves. This, this entire world, which is made up of that which is moving and that which is immobile, correct? That which is immobile and that which is mobile. So, asayum, asaya, porul, like that in Tamil also we have, correct? That which is moving, that which is not moving, all that is all only Advaitam, it's all only one reality. This one reality is appearing as though it is multiple, as though it is many, but that doesn't mean that there is no Advaita. Advaita is the Satya. Advaitam Satyam, Sadeva Satyam, all these things. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So this alone is Satyam. Everything else is Mithya and Mithya doesn't count. Okay. That is the Rishi arithmetic. Like that my Guruji used to say. The Rishi arithmetic is that you have only one clay, you can have millions, or you have only one gold, you can have millions of jewelry, it doesn't really count. Correct? 1 plus million also is one only. That is the Rishi arithmetic we have. The mithya doesn't really count. It doesn't have any existence, independent existence to be counted. Gold alone is the reality. In fact, when you go to get a gold loan, you will know that it doesn't matter how many jewelry you take. Only the weight of the gold counts, correct? So, like that, the banker is a jnani really. Banker sees only gold. You are seeing only Namarupa. You are attached to your chain, your bangle, whatever it is you have, earring, etc. Banker only sees everything as gold. What is the weight of that? Based on that, you will get your loan. Correct? That is the Jnana Drishti. In Jnana Drishti, only Advaitam, Satyam, Advaita alone is there. The Advaita is appearing like Dvaita. That is all only appearance. It doesn't really count. Okay. So, another analogy also is given. We'll see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.